Hello folks, this is Hitman Von Doom. It's still bald cold over here, so I'm wearing normal gloves. But anyway, whatchamacallit, Spirodotgeek had a tag video. He tagged everyone and a series of questions that were most interesting. I wish I could do a better job, but I'm pretty busy for the next 2 weeks. So let's get started. The first question was, what series or character do you miss? The character that I miss, is Damian Wayne. There's no question about it. I really, really miss that guy. That was the main reason I was reading Batman and Robin. Now it's just become Batman Team Up, and I don't really read that anymore. So I really miss Damian Wayne a lot. Just probably one of my favorite. Probably, I would have to say my second favorite Robin. My first favorite is got to be the original Dick Grayson, but I really miss him, and I miss his little, I miss how he's 10 years old and he's a badass. I miss his, his arrogance. I just see a lot of myself in that character. I really miss that guy. I miss the whole dynamic he had with Dick Grayson and the entire Bat family in the Marvel DC universe. So that's the character that I really wish they'd bring back. Hopefully soon. What series or character do you miss but not did you? What series or character did you miss but now you don't miss anymore? And to be perfectly honest, I used to miss X-Men Legacy, starring when Rogue was the main character. I really used to miss that. But now, right now I really don't, because they moved it to Legion now, and I really don't miss X-Men Legacy starring Rogue anymore. I don't know what happened, but I just think maybe it's because maybe the reason I used to miss it was because it was really good. I enjoyed it, and then it started tying into Avengers vs. X-Men stuff, and it just was not very good when it did that. When it tied into AVX, it just was a total turn off for me, and I didn't care, and so I dropped it. And then they eventually, did away with it and came up with X-Men Legacy with Legion, and that's a series with X-Men Legacy starring Rogue is something that I don't miss anymore. It's probably because of the AVX tie-ins that made me just dislike the book. So yeah, that's one of them that I really don't miss. So yeah, X-Men Legacy when Rogue was the main character. Oh, what series or character would you like to stop? And this is going to be, for me personally, the character that I would really like to see stopped is Venom. And that's just my opinion on this. I just feel that they don't know what the hell they're doing with the character anymore. I just feel like, he was really popular back in the day when Eddie Brock had Venom, the Venom symbiote, but now I just feel like they don't know exactly what they're doing. I know he's in the Superior Spider-Man, but I feel like the character doesn't have really any direction whatsoever. They don't know what they're doing with him. He's just there for the sake of being there, to bring in some money, because people still have an attachment to Venom. But I just feel like it's pointless having Venom around anymore. There's no point. It's like it feels like it's a character that kind of is no longer really useful or relevant anymore. Kind of like Jubilee and Hope Summers. So I don't know. That's what I think the character that should leave. And the series, and if I want, and the other one was Teen Titans would have been on this list. It would have been Teen Titans, because I read a few new for the two Teen Titans, and they were pretty much god awful. I would say that, but DC's already ending Teen Titans mercifully, so the next one would be Venom for me. It's just, the character just had no direction anymore. What do you do with him? Crossovers, love, hate, or meh. I'm meh on this, because some crossovers are good, like X-Men Second Coming. Some crossovers are terrible, Avengers vs. X-Men. And then some crossovers are just meh. I can't think of any examples, but, some crossovers are just meh. And I'm kind of like meh, because, yeah, you get your fair share of good things and bad things. X-Men Second Coming, AVX, Death of the Family was, for me, it was good, but then the ending kind of made it, when I read the last issue, few issues, the last issue at least, it kind of brought it down to meh. The Batgirl stuff was really good in Death of the Family. I really loved that. Some of the Batman stuff was really good, but the last issue was really anticlimactic for me, so it was kind of meh. But yeah, so that's what I think of crossovers. They're meh for me. Good, bad, sometimes. I just yeah, they're meh for me. Some of them are good, some of them are bad. What character do you wish had their own series? And you know what, I really think, Black Panther should have his own series. In my opinion, I mean, I think it's a character that's not really doing much. That I think he didn't one of the Avengers, but I think that's a character that really should have its own series. I mean, for God's sake, he has his own country. I mean, only Doctor Doom can really say that. He has his own country, and the fact is, I mean, after AVX, they could do so much with AVX. They could have a Black Panther series where he's at war with Atlantis, with Submariner and Atlantis, because Submariner literally invaded Wakanda, and he literally just almost brought it to rubble during the AVX story. And I think that would be a really cool thing to have a Black Panther in his own series, and just kind of how he's running a nation and maybe possibly warring with Atlantis. I think that would be a really good story that they could do. And I think Black Panther really should get his own book. I mean, I just find the character very interesting. I think he can hold it his own title. What series of character do you think is overdone or overutilized? Well, I think we all know Avengers and X-Men are overutilized, but if I were to go with characters, I would say Wolverine. Wolverine is so overutilized. He's everywhere. I mean, what is he? He's an Uncanny Avengers. I know he's a normal Avengers. I think he was in X-Force. I don't know if he's in X-Force anymore. He's in Wolverine and the X-Men. He's in all new X-Men. He has like 2 or 3 years series of his own. I know there's Wolverine and Savage Wolverine out there. There might be another one out there as well. He's like everywhere. And it's like, I like Wolverine as much as the next guy, but come on. I mean, it's a little redundant here. It's overdone. I mean, it's just like, what the hell? And then they're canceling Wolverine, and then they're bringing another #1 new movie Wolverine. What the frick is that? So yeah, that's a character that I think is just so overdone, so overutilized, and it's just, now when I see, I used to be happy when I see Wolverine. Now I'm just like, oh, jeez, come on, But it's like, yeah. So I think Wolverine, he's just everywhere. He's overexposed and just. The character do you think is underdone and underutilized? And I would have to say, it would probably, for me, it would be between two. It would be between Hybrid. And for those of you who don't know who Hybrid is, that's one of the symbiotes, or a combination of symbiotes that you don't see anymore. I think that character has never really been around anymore, and I think you could do good stories with that. And the other one, I would say, would be Iron Fist. I mean, he's a character that really is underutilized. I mean, you don't really hear a lot about Iron Fist. He doesn't really do much. He was a little bit in AVX, but not really a major part of AVX. And I think that character really, besides Black Panther, really could use his own title. It's really a character that can do a lot more than just, it's just really underutilized. I never really see Iron Fist around anymore. You never really see Iron Fist in books or anything. And I think that's a character that people can be interested. When written correctly, it can be a really great character. And it's just a shame that no one really utilizes that character that much. Oh, well. What type of books do you wish there were more of? See, this is a hard question because I really don't have a preference. But if I were to go from the big two, I think Marvel needs more supernatural titles. Like Doctor Strange, need more supernatural stuff. That's in my opinion. I think Marvel is really lacking on the supernatural crap. They need a lot more supernatural stuff. I mean, you got the space adventures and stuff like that and everything, but they really don't have much in the way of supernatural things. So I really think that they need, that Marvel needs that. And I think DC needs the space adventures, more space adventure stuff, because they got the action, they got the the action, and they got the supernatural stuff. But I really think they need like the space sci-fi stuff, and you can maybe count Green Lantern as it, but not really. I think they can really need like one of those, like a space sci-fi adventure type thing, DC, because I really can't think of a whole lot of titles that do that, that have that. So I think that would be something that DC should look into, a sci-fi space thing. Marvel should have a supernatural thing, and the indies. Well, indies are pretty much got everything covered. I mean, you got your space adventure stuff, you got your You got your whatchamacallit, your supernatural things. I know Five Ghosts is one of them, the supernatural. So you got your that stuff, you got your drama, you got your action. I mean, maybe the only thing I could really think of that maybe like it would be a western, but I think maybe that's what you would count. Six Gun would be a western, supposedly. I never read it, but maybe that would be the only thing that may be a little lacking is the westerns. In fact, that was probably the thing that would be lacking in everything would be a western. But yeah, so those are my questions. This is a video for everyone to do and tag. Excuse me, my hands are freezing. I'm wearing gloves indoors because heat costs money, and I'm gonna sit by the heater. So yeah, thanks for the video, Spirodotgeek.